Well, hello everybody there. Thank you for watching, or continuing to watch this little new player's guide that I've cooked up here. I'm No02. Today we're going to be talking about goals and just the basic understanding of oil timings. What I mean by goals is not like personal goals, right? Not like self-evaluation. I want to get my timings perfect. That's a different kind of goal. That's a personal goal. I'm talking about goals in the game. We got oil spill here, right? And And in one sense, your goals can be aggressive or defensive, but we don't. Let's not put ourselves in a box. I'm an aggro player. I only accomplish goals that are aggressive, etc. Well, let's take one step back, though. What is the goal of the game? You might say confidently, the goal of the game is to win the game. The goal of the game is to beat my opponent. How do you do that? I need 500 victory points. How do you get VPs? I capture the flags. I have 2 of the 3 flags. How do you capture a flag? I walk a squad over. They kneel down. They pay homage to it. But what prevents you from doing that? Well, they shoot me with bullets when I try to do that. Right? It's like those goals are too. That's winning the game is too vague of a goal. We want more specific goals, tight knit, directed goals in the game. We have 3 starting squads, some resources that we need to start, that we need to capture, and an oil spill. Right, every map's a little bit different on how goals ebb and flow and change throughout a game. But we have this iron in No Man's Land, this flag in No Man's Land, this oil, No Man's Land, right? These are not our natural resources. These 4 things are, and our flag, that's our natural side of our map. So very simply then, one of your goals can be, I want to get all of my natural resources first. Nice and swift. That might mean that you forego challenging over here for the extra resource caches. You forego challenging this iron mine. Things like that. So is a goal good or bad? Depends on your opponent, depends on the map. The point is, though, really with the goal of the goals, you see what I did there? Is to have a vague game plan outside of what your build order is going to be. Because we have 3 units, right? We got engineer maybe here, rifleman, engineer grabs the grenades, this rifleman goes and gets the cash, maybe over here to the oil pump. And then the goal of this rifleman is just to defend. He can't continue, maybe he can peek his head in over here, see what's going on. But if your opponent has 2 things over here, that rifleman can't win that fight, so he's just defending. Now we got 2 dudes over here. What do we do with them? What is their goal? What's our goal for them? Things like that, right? So maybe our goal is to get all of our natural resources. Once that goal is completed, we reassess. Where is our opponent at? What are his goals? What is he trying to get? Are we okay with him doing what he's doing? Etc. Maybe our goal is to skip this oil pump, potentially. Rifleman here, get the caches, and then get the flag, and then get our oil pump. We challenge the flag early. Now our opponent has to make a decision. Do I fight him at the flag? Or do I get my own oil pump? Or do I challenge these, etc.? Maybe our goal is to get our grenadiers and our riflemen over here, and we're going to fight for the iron mine. That's our first goal. Get this iron mine to be ours. Maybe it's the flag. You can go engineer here. Engineer, rifleman, 2 riflemen, now challenge the flag. Right? Like, your goal is, what do I want at the start of the game? And once we have that goal, it presents challenges for us, right? Because if we want this, but our opponent is here as well, how do we fight for it? Our goal is this. How do we, as consistently as possible, accomplish that goal. And when we look at a map like this and evaluate that idea, it allows yourself to think and gives yourself, you know what, before I even get into a match, on oil spill, I really do hate fighting for this flag. Can't stand it. Don't like fighting there. That's your own personal opinion, right? You don't like fighting there. I know you. So if my goal is to get this flag as early as possible so I can defend it, you now, being a smart human being, can reason for yourself, well, I need a rifleman here and a rifleman here. So I want my 3 starting resources, but I need 2 squads close to the flag. So now you've conceived engineer, rifleman, rifleman. And now you fight for the flag. Get your flag, accomplish your goal, reassess, establish a new goal. And that's sort of the point. That's the point that I'm trying to get to here, is that think in very simple terms like this, right? Think in terms of simple goals. What do I want to take? What do I want to attack? What do I want to defend? And now you can assess for yourself, well, how do I do that with 3 squads? How do I do that with the engineer that builds my barracks? Things like that. And it's going to allow you to start learning and figuring out for yourself how you want to divvy up the map with your starting squads. Where do you send your engineer after it builds your barracks? Do you want to build an extra engineer even maybe? Do you maybe? And that's what we're really striving towards, right? Is we want a very clear-cut path for our first 3 squads. The first 6 minutes, in the first 6 minutes of the match, we can pretty comfortably and pretty reliably plan every action and move that we do. Aside from the build order that we're doing, we can really already predetermine where our squads are going to be ending up. And then once you accomplish a goal, right? You got our flag. We have our natural resources. This grenadier, maybe he poked to see, couldn't get anything. Got his oil, got your flag. You can accomplish your goal and reassess. I got 2 squads over here. He's got 2 squads over here, which means that we can get this oil pump now and the caches. That's our new goal. Now we can secure this whole area. The goal grew into a bigger space. Things like that. So you want to just evaluate, and this will change from each map as well. Sort of what you like to accomplish and get. Maybe your goal is to even attack his oil pump eventually, to prevent him from having it. Again, same thing. Maybe we have 2 squads over here. We take the flag, we secure this area first, and then we push out, right? Our R1 maybe comes out, and our goal is to send our R1 right to the oil pump. So we fight over here with 2 squads to secure the dominance here. Then we reinforce it with more, keep the fight going, etc. Maybe you don't even want to attack. Maybe you just want this flag and you can secure it. This is also a moment where your reserves can bleed into your goals. Maybe your R1 has a mortar and you put a mortar by this building. So you want to secure it definitely, right? You definitely want to win the flag. Gain control of this area with the riflemen, set up the mortar. Now you have some dominance, you defend the mortar. If you defend the mortar, you defend the area, etc., etc., etc. Things like that. So that's just very basic idea about goals. Crap, we can't be them. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. How embarrassing. Oil spill. Ponia. Doesn't matter what we pick. Brop brop. Now I want to talk about oil timings. Not that there's necessarily a specific oil timing, oh man, if you do this timing, then you can get X thing out at this moment in time. It's not quite the same as a gas timing in StarCraft, where you get gas and do a push with it or something like that. Push with certain units that use that gas. This is just how we're going to evaluate.
Command established.
Fine. Yes. Moving. Yeah.
More sandbag gladly.
How we evaluate.
We'll do it. New orders for us? Fine.
How well our build order is going, just in general.
Now. Meet right here.
Because again, the first 6 minutes of the match,
Ready point set.
we can pretty much plan out all of our decisions. So oil is the tech resource, right? If we want to advance up the tech tree, we want to slowly work our way
What's the plan?
towards getting our big bad mechs out into the field.
Oil for the Republic.
That progress is going to be limited by the
Something
oil
done?
most of the time, especially in the first 6 minutes. Whatever your build order is, you're waiting for oil.
We're on. Careful how you stow them.
Uh-huh.
What's the plan then? Right. Moving
Alright,
to
so
the-
regardless of what
What is it?
my build order is, how I decided to divvy up the map and etc.
You name it, we'll build it.
Because look
It's
at our
not
oil.
too
Our
far.
first timing is 65 oil. We need 65 oil
Let's go for a
to
stroll.
get our barracks out. And that's going to be different for each faction.
Headed that way. Let's get to work.
More volunteers?
More sandbags to fill.
But that's our first timing. The first timing is your barracks oil.
What's the plan then?
Alright?
Fall in.
Then the next timing is going to be whatever your R1 is, right? Mine's 5 oil, so it's not an issue. So regardless of what our build order is,
Yes. Get to cover.
Ready.
we're always looking at our oil because the next step in our build is going to require oil.
Orders.
What is it? That will give us cover.
Building finished.
So you're microwing, you're doing your thing,
That'll help.
you're remembering to build stuff,
New
etc.
recruits.
What can we do?
We got our timing
We've
down.
secured the mine.
Meet right here.
He's turning his riflemen into engineers.
You name it, we'll build it.
Okay.
It's not. We're as
Weird.
good a shot as any.
It's a weird AI thing to do. Guess he needs to go build a barracks real bad or
Look
something.
sharp now.
Now we're watching our oil. What's our next timing here for our oil?
No city
Well, we want to get Lek
What
out,
can we
right?
do?
So we need an advanced barracks to do that. Our next big timing for oil is 85.
Uh-huh.
85, so we're microing, we're
Standing
shooting
by.
stuff, bam, bam, bam. We're shooting things on the ground. Oh man, we're fighting, we're microing. Look at our oil. Oh, quickly, get the timing. Ooh, beautiful, 0. We hit it just in time. They're
Looks
shooting
like
at
a good
ghosts.
spot. What is it? Follow us. Orders. Don't. We'll do it.
New recruits?
Right, hit the timing. So you always want to, as soon as your oil is at what you need, you really want to be spending it. Your first 6 minutes of oil should be, you have the oil back to 0. You have the oil back down to 7, right? Whatever it is. You can't always spend the oil perfectly,
Sounds good.
but the point is, right, you want that oil timing to be precise.
Look sharp now.
Building upgrade
Now we're
complete.
waiting for
More Polonian
140
assets are
oil.
now available.
We're microing, we'll get a
Keep it
pump
flowing.
upgrade.
Grenadiers
We're
ready.
doing our thing.
Right away. Something done.
We're shooting, we're fighting,
New orders for us? The more, the better.
etc.
Ready for action.
Recruits?
We're just watching our oil. We're just waiting for the oil
What
to
is it? Get
to do its thing.
How many?
What's the plan? Engage the target.
Riflemen are practicing, etc.
Extraction is ongoing. Enemy unit spotted.
Contact!
Follow us. Looks like a good spot.
Right, micro, look at your oil, look at your mini-map. Micro, oil, mini-map.
Pressure steady.
More volunteers?
We can afford an extra rifleman
What's the plan?
if we wanted to.
Firing anti-mech gun. Orders. Moving out. About time.
Building upgrade complete.
Yes.
It's got lots of engineers, etc. Oil, we're still waiting for it.
No city around.
Rifleman here to defend the Republic.
listening. A little protection helps.
Orders! It's us or them! Quickly! We've got company!
Doing the micro.
We'll get there quick.
Looking at the oil, we're not quite there yet.
Fall in.
Still waiting.
Yes? Sounds good. That will give us cover.
We've accomplished the goal. Our goal was to get this iron mine, right? Intuitively. But then the bot wasn't here. We peeked over here.
Operating.
The bot wasn't here, so we took it because it was free.
Compliments of Bologna.
Orders! Right away!
New recruits?
Oh, look at that. We missed. Our oil is there, but we're behind on iron because I built an extra rifleman.
Multiple enemy contacts.
More volunteers?
Built an extra rifleman,
Ready point set.
but for the most part,
Fire!
right? You want to spend those resources on your build
New orders
order
for us?
as
Leading
quickly
the
as you
way.
get them.
Get to cover. Sounds
Over
good.
there.
What
Didn't
is
have enough iron to reinforce that squad.
What's the plan? Ready! Fire! Let them have it quick!
A unit has become veteran.
Riflemen regroup.
Yeah, rifle squad reinforced. That will give us cover.
What can we
That's
do?
basically it.
Reserve
Look at that.
forces
Let,
have arrived.
our R2 is out at 5:25. It's a great little timing.
Extraction
Now we
is
want,
ongoing.
right, we upgrade our iron mine. We'll wait for our second iron mine upgrade. That's our next oil timing. Let's get all of our upgrades done.
Go on then.
And the oil timing is also a way for you to assess whether or not you're behind on your timing, right?
Hi-ho.
Right on time. If this oil was at say whatever 20 or something like that, we're getting eight every 5 seconds. We can assess. Oh man, my iron upgrade is 10 seconds late. You know, this
Let's
upgrade
go.
that I
Fine.
was planning on getting,
New orders for us?
10 seconds late. My barracks is 5 seconds late.
Guns ready.
Good.
And not that you should get down on yourself or upset or be like, oh man, I'm losing now because I missed my timing. It's more just about self-evaluation. Am I on point right now? Am I missing? Am I making little mistakes like that?
Am I needed?
Little mishaps?
Building upgrade complete.
Yeah? Get to cover.
And just and also that'll get more advanced in that I'm a little late on my R2 timing because I forgot to push the button. I had the oil, but I forgot to push the button, which means that if his R2 comes out sooner than mine, I'm gonna have to back up a little bit because I'm gonna have to wait for mine to reinforce. Things like that. We're using Lek to destroy the cover that our opponent would be using. Keep our cover intact,
Over there.
etc. So that's it. That's very simple oil timing concept.
On the way.
You just pay attention to it. You'll
The
micro.
enemy
You'll
is
play.
capturing
You
our
always want to
hub.
get into the habit of micro. Look at your resources. Look at your mini map.
Ready.
Back to the micro. Your resources. Right. Click on your mini map for for whatever reason you want to click on it. Back to your micro. Resources. Mini map.
Go on then.
Multiple enemy contacts.
And just making sure and practicing being aware of your oil for the first 6 minutes of the game so that you can get your build order down nice and crisp while your timings are correct.
If more Polanians had the resolve of my men, we'd have won by now. What is it?
Good to know, Lek. Good to know.
We're ready.
And that's it, right? Because eventually, if your timings are nice and precise and crisp, you get into a comfortable place with your build order. You get comfortable. You know exactly what's going to happen in the first 6 minutes. You're at the very least, you're in control of what you're doing.
Fire.
One of our veteran units
And now
is
you can
now
plan
hit.
around things, right? You can plan around things. You'll start learning timings. You'll start to get a grasp for them, a feeling for them. And recognizing, hey, you know what? If I do this reserve,
Am I needed?
and it costs this much money,
Ready.
I can probably get my R2 out at maybe 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 30 seconds instead. And that'll give me a minute and a half to potentially
Standing by.
go decap something. And now I can defend this area. When his R2 comes out, I'm already dug in. Now he's gonna fight me for this. I can put pressure somewhere. And he's gonna put all of his reserves here to relieve that pressure. And when he does that, maybe I'll attack
Guns
over here
ready.
now.
All right.
You can start coming up with ideas. And some of those ideas will be possible by getting your timings down correctly and beginning to understand your timings for your opponents and things like that. And that's the beginning of this concept begins with
Taking cover.
you understanding your own oil timings, getting them down nice and crisp and perfect eventually. That's it for today, for this video, right? Simple goals. Establish simple goals. What do I want to take? I want the iron mine first. Maybe you
We're
want the
off
flag
to a
first.
good
It's up
start.
to you. Think about then, how do I accomplish that with 3 squads?
This mine is ours.
How do I accomplish that with 3 squads and the engineer that built our
New
barracks at
recruits.
first?
Fall in.
Accomplish your goal. Reassess. Okay, we have our goal Can we get something else? Oh, look,
Ready
the oil
for
pump.
action. Understood.
We're setting up to defend this flag, but that also transitions nicely into this pump.
Ready.
Let's set up defenses for both of this place, for both of this area,
Grenadiers ready.
You have it.
etc., etc., etc.
Go on then. I'll beat them back.
Nice.
Only one unit. Time to get moving.
That can't count. There's more than one unit there.
Take me to the fight.
And that's it. So simple goals to help direct your focus,
Time has come.
and simple oil timings to make sure that things are coming out nice and smooth and you're comfortable with what you're doing. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the future.
Enemy unit spotted.